Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about the timestamp method. So timestamp is a unique identifier created by a database management system to indicate the starting time of each transaction. So for each transaction, say Ti, starting time is noted. For that, we can use system clock or we can use a logical counter. So suppose my transaction T1 enters into the system at 9 o'clock and transaction T2 enters into the system at 9:10 a.m. Then this time is noted for each transaction. So according to this time, my T1 has entered first. So T1 is an older transaction compared to T2. So my T1 is an older transaction. T2 is a younger transaction. So whoever enters first will get executed first. So as T1 has entered first, so T1 will get the highest priority for the execution compared to T2. So this way we are going to use a timestamp method for each and every transaction. For this we are going to use timestamp protocol. So what is timestamp protocol? Timestamp ordering protocol is used to order the transaction based on their timestamp. The order of transaction is nothing but ascending order of transaction creation. The priority of older transaction is higher. That's why it executes first. To determine the timestamp of the transaction, this protocol uses a system time or a logical counter. Now, in case of logical counter, counter is set when first transactions enter into the system and it is incremented by 1 for next entry of each transaction. So let's say for T1 it is 1 second, for T2 it will be 2 seconds, for T3 it will be 3 seconds and so on. Log-based protocol is used to manage the order between the conflicting pairs among the transaction at the execution time. But timestamp protocol start working as soon as transaction is created. The timestamp ordering protocol also maintains the timestamp of last read and write operation on the data. So for the read underscore TS noted as a RTS is the largest timestamp of any transaction that executed read successfully. And write timestamp, that is write underscore TS noted as WTS, is the largest timestamp of any transaction that executed write successfully. Say for example, these are the two transactions. One is performing my read operation and one is performing only write operation. So when I want to find out the read timestamp, what it indicates is the largest timestamp of any transaction that executed read successfully. This read is nothing but the last read successfully. So let's say my T1 is having T1 entered into the system at 1 second. 1 second, T2 enters into the system at 2 seconds and T3 enters into the system at 3 seconds. So my largest timestamp for read of this particular operation, I am denoting as RTS of X, which is equal to 3, because largest timestamp of any transaction who is executing last read successfully. This is last read operation among this. So transaction is T3 and timestamp of T3 is 3 seconds. So it is 3. Same thing we can find out for the write operation. So write operation is performed by T1, T2, T3. I am going to consider 1 second, 2 second and 3 second as a timestamp for T1, T2, T3 respectively. So last write operation, who is doing T3? What is the timestamp of T3 is 3 seconds. So my write timestamp for X as per this example is equal to 3 because my T3 transaction is performing last read and write, and T3 timestamp is a 3 seconds. So read timestamp for X is 3 and write timestamp for X is 3. Likewise, we are going to obtain the timestamp on this particular transaction. Now, next in this is we need to understand few rules when we are performing a timestamp ordering protocol. The rules for this is, first rule is on the read and second rule is on the write. See, now what we have learned, the conflicting and non-conflicting pair in the serializability. For read, we know the conflicting pair is only write. So whenever we are performing read operation in any of the transaction, we need to check only one condition, that is write condition. Whether write of that variable is greater than the timestamp of that transaction or not. What does this mean? Is suppose I'm having T1, T2, T3 and right now I'm checking the read condition for T2. So TS of TI will be the T2 timestamp when T2 entered into the system. And this is last updated write value for that particular variable. If it is true, then operation is rejected. That means operation is rolled back. If it is false, then operation is executed with the read timestamp of X set to maximum of read timestamp of X, comma TS of TI. This will be clear when we will solve the problem. What you have to remember over here is, for read, we are going to check only one condition, that is write timestamp of X, whether it is greater than timestamp of that transaction or not. If it is true, roll back. If it is false, execute this set operation, set which is equal to set read value which is equal to maximum of read timestamp of X, comma transaction timestamp. Next is we need to check for write condition. Now we know that for write we have two conflicts. One is a read conflict, other is a write conflict. So we need to check both the conditions. If read timestamp is greater than the transaction timestamp, operation is rejected. If write timestamp is greater than the transaction timestamp, then operation is rejected. Otherwise we are executing. If it is failed, then we are going to execute this. So this will be clear when we will see the problem. So what does this read and write rule says, that whoever has entered first should get served first, should get execute first. If it is true, then all the transactions will get executed in a serial way. Otherwise, we have to abort those transactions. We have to perform rollback for those particular transaction. Let's say, first example, in this T1 and T2, T1 entered at 1 second, T2 entered at 2 seconds. As per the rule, as T1 has entered first, should get served first. For that, we are going to perform the rules. Now, what rule says, as it is a read operation, for read, we are going to check the write condition. For read, we are going to check the write condition, that is write of X, whether it is greater than T1 timestamp or not. Right now, my write of X is 0 and timestamp of T1 is equal to 1. Is 0 greater than 1? Condition is false. So operation will get executed with set read timestamp of X equal to maximum of read timestamp of X, comma transaction timestamp. So now in this particular case, I need to check what is maximum of. See, right now my read timestamp is 0, comma T1. T1 timestamp is 1. So my read timestamp now will get set to which is equal to 1. So this I have performed for this particular operation. So now my read timestamp, which was earlier 0, got set to 1. Now next, I'm going to perform for write. For write, I need to check two conditions. One is a read condition, other is a write condition. So if I check for the read condition, is read timestamp of X greater than transaction timestamp? Now I am in transaction T2. So I need to check, is read timestamp of X, is it greater than transaction timestamp T2? That means is 1 greater than 2? Condition is failed. first condition for write is failed. Then I need to check whether write timestamp is greater than T2 timestamp. Write timestamp right now is 0, greater than T2, 2. So it is failed. If both the operations are failed, that means I need to set write timestamp of X equal to timestamp of that transaction, that is T2. That means it will get set to 2. That means my read timestamp of X is now set to 1 and write timestamp of X and write timestamp of X is set to 2. We'll verify as per the rule. We have learned that read timestamp is a last read performed by that particular transaction. So in this 2 transaction, my last read is performed by this. So what is timestamp of this is 1. We are getting here the same value. Read timestamp we have checked. Now we will check for the write timestamp. Write timestamp of X, the last write performed by that transaction. So it is T2, timestamp is 2. So we got this 2. So my transaction, this T1 will get execute first, then T2 will get execute first, second. It's successful. So here T1, after that T2, serializability is achieved using the timestamp protocol. We will check for the second condition also. That is, suppose my T1, again I am going to consider this T1 as 1 second. T1 as 1 second. Suppose T1 started at 1 second, T2 started at 2 seconds. Now I need to check for write. For write, I need to check 2 conditions. One is a read condition and another is a write condition. Right now there is a no read condition. So then to read of X, is it greater than timestamp of T1? Read of X right now it is 0. Is it greater than 1? Answer is false. I need to check another condition for write, that is write of X greater than T1. So is 0 greater than 1? Answer is fail. Answer is fail. And then set write timestamp of X is equal to timestamp of that transaction. So this is equal to now 1. So my write timestamp has updated from 0 to 1. Now I'll check for this write of X under the T2. So now I need to check read of X, which will be again failed because it is 0 greater than 2. That also will verify. Read of X, is it greater than T2? My read of X is still 0. So is 0 greater than T2 timestamp? Answer is fail. Then I'll check for write timestamp of X. Write timestamp of X, is it greater than T2? Write timestamp updated to 1, greater than 2. Is it true? No, it's false. So set write timestamp of X equal to T2 timestamp, which is equal to 2. So as per the rule, write timestamp of X is a last timestamp when write operation is performed for that particular transaction. So as per the rule, after this T1, this T2 is performing writing. So this value should be the write timestamp of X, and we are getting that particular answer. That means this operation will also be a successful operation. This is, see, write and write is a conflicting pair. But what we are doing, as this write has entered, as this transaction has entered first, and this write is under this transaction, so will get executed first, and it is happening. That's the reason my T1 and T2 is a successful transaction. So this first case and second case is a successful transaction case. Let's say third example. Read write was a conflict, we checked, it is executing. Write was a conflict, we checked, it was executing. Now third case is write read, which is again a conflict case. We will check for that also. So now this, for this write part, again I am considering here it is 1 and here it is 2. For that, I need to check all the rules of the timestamp protocol. What does for this write? What does rule says? Is read of x greater than t1? Because right now I'm performing in t1. Initially it is 0, greater than 1. Answer is fail. I need to check for write also. Write timestamp of x. Is it greater than t1? That is 0, greater than t1 means 1. Answer is false. So set your write timestamp of x equal to t1. So write timestamp earlier which was 0 now will get updated to 1. Now I'll check for T2 condition, that is read of x. For read of x, I need to check only one condition, that is write timestamp of x greater than T2? Greater than T2, that means is 1 greater than 2? Answer is no, that means false. So read says set read timestamp of x as maximum of r of x comma that transaction timestamp. That means set this to maximum of r of x. Right now it is 0 and t2 timestamp is 2, so it will get set to 2. So is your condition getting satisfied? Check. Write timestamp is equal to 1 and read timestamp is equal to 2. So this transaction also will get execute successfully. So T1 come first, then T2, T1 come first, then T2, T1 come first, then T2 for same variable. We are checking for the same variable. So all the conditions are true. So my condition is executed. Now say for example, here I am getting T3 as a transaction and under T3 I am getting one more variable as read of y as first. Suppose read of y entered first. Read of y entered first. Will this transaction get executed? Answer is yes, because only read of y I am checking for x. Is any y condition for this transaction right now? No. And y has entered for T3 first and it is getting served after once T1, then T2, then T3 will get served, and there is no Y related command over here in T1 and T2. So it will get executed. This particular transaction also will get executed successfully. Now next, let's say here we have seen the example where T1 come first, then T2. Now we'll check the reverse case as well. That T2 come first and then T1. Now when T2 come first, then T1. So what will happen? And third condition also, that T2 come first, then T1. We'll verify any one condition out of this in the same way. Now suppose here, this read. For read, I need to check right of x right now is equal to 0. Is it greater than T2? T2 is still, I'm taking 1 and 2. So 0 greater than 2. Answer is fail. This transaction will say set read of x is equal to maximum of read of x comma T2. So what I'll get? Maximum of 0 comma 2, which is equal to 2. So now my read of x is updated to 2. Then I'll come for checking this right off, because this operation is performed first. I need to check for that first. Then I'm checking for write of x. So write of x, I need to check two conditions. That is read of x, is it greater than my transaction T1? That is 2 greater than T1? Answer comes true. Once it is true, my transaction is rolled back. That means my transaction is not getting executed, which was not the case for the earlier conditions. So T1 come first, T2 comes later, but T2 performs first read operation. This we are calling it as a dirty read operation. And then your T1 performs write of X. So such a transactions will be fade transaction. Same conditions will happen with this T1 T2 and this T1 T2. So what timestamp protocol says, whoever is entering into the system first, so irrespective of any conditions, that transaction should get executed first. For that matter, your serializability can be easily achieved in using this timestamp protocol. One example related to this we'll see in the next part. Thank you all of you.